everybody, including that one kid right there.
So there's a couple of things that I want to talk about in this video. The first thing is this screenshot here, which shows a emulator for PlayStation 3, which basically allows you to play all of these different games. There's a new feature that allows you to see how many people is playing each game. And as you can see for Tekken Tag Tournament 2, there's 50 people online. For Tekken 6, there's 4 people online. The reason why I highlight this is because, you know, Harada always says that he's not interested in rebooting, remaking, re-releasing any type of old Tekken games. He's only about looking forward. And while I agree with like not rebooting the storyline and all that stuff, I still think they should do like a re-release classic collection. And I just highlight this, and I will continue to highlight it because I want the developers to see that players are interested in this. We see multiple different subsections of the Tekken player base and just the FGC trying to resurrect these old Tekken games. And I think the Tekken developers should, one, either do a collections like Street Fighter, or two, allow the old games to be played within Tekken 8 itself. Make the arcade lounge more useful by allowing people to play some of the older Tekken games and experiencing the greatness of the franchise. You also have the second open beta test for Fatal Fury. Now, I am personally excited for this because this game was really, really fun. Preacher is an awesome character who I did not know about before the first beta, but when I was playing the first beta, oh my God, doing those inputs was hurting my hands. Now, I know fighting game players love the technical, the difficult inputs, but boy, does a number on your hands. Yoshimitsu is a character who's really built for me because his inputs are so simple, yet his gameplay is so deep, and it's a lot to explore there. Tekken 8 kind of simplifies them a lot. I hope Season 2 will revert that, but you know, Preacher was really fun. I'm going to play some more of her doing those quarter circles. It was really fun. Looking forward to that. The date on this is March 26th, so it's fastly approaching. Also, something else that I want to highlight as well, this is going back to the Pakistan versus Korea situation. This victory speech from Arslan and Ash, I think it's great, everything that he said here and how he was basically highlighting the struggles that they go through. I think this is something that needs to be highlighted, which is why I want to show you guys the clip.
I just want to say one thing. I think a lot of people don't know that we come from a country where you can think of any issue and then you can find that issue in Pakistan. We didn't have money to play. We have electricity issues. We have visa problems. Our passport is the worst 5 in the world. And recently, sponsors are not sponsoring players because some of the players don't have USA visa. Winning and coming from such circumstances, I think we truly deserve the right to celebrate this, and we truly deserve the right to say that now in Season 1 and we are the best. And inshallah, we're going to prove it again and again.
So I think that was definitely worth saying from Arslan and Ash, and I'm happy that he said it. And speaking to the difficulties, Tiff is on Twitter right now talking about how he's dealing with Japan visa issues. You also have this tweet here from the John where he is highlighting Holy Knee and basically how he's a legend. There was also a event that took place after where you can see here where all of the Pakistani players, all of the Korean players, and a couple of UK guys, they all gathered to play Tekken. And this is what I was talking about, how like, yes, this rivalry is like intense. Yes, the players want to win. Yes, they're very proud of where they come from, but it's not like a bloodthirsty, they're not going to go throw hands in a bar. They're going to go play some more Tekken, hang out, right? Now, something else that also has to be talked about is the rivalry that's growing between EU and the US. This is something that I referred to at the end of my last video, but since then it has been picking up a lot of momentum. You now have tournament players sharing screenshots of them 2-0ing each other and basically proving which one is the best. I'm not going to read all of these, but you guys can just pause and see all of the different things that people are saying to one another. It's not stopping. You even have this discussion that's going on right now with Speed Kicks Joka, where these guys are just going back and forth like on each other's line. In my opinion, bro, set up another tournament. Even though US won the first one, let's see who wins this one in Tekken 8 Season 2. The players want to see it. The pros want to compete. Let's do it. Now we're going to talk about a little bit of a controversy. The Esports World Cup is currently going on. This is how many esports orgs joined the club partner program to basically compete. From what I've read, over 200 submitted and only 40 was accepted. Now, there was also this other thing that happened as well, where people are starting to boycott the EWC. Anybody boycotting because of Saudi Arabia better be prepared to skip Evo 2. And forget about playing Fatal Fury. Capcom games are also borderline forbidden as well. I'm not too sure what Saudi Arabia has done, but people are like literally saying on Twitter, like you have this guy who's saying, I will not be attending EWC. People are calling out this guy for virtue signaling. It's a long document basically calling out EWC and, Saudi Arabia. I do think it's pretty interesting when people, go on these like boycotting rampages. There's a lot of other things that's connected to it. It's like how people get bad at like, China or whatever, but then they have like an iPhone, or they have like some clothes, or they have like, these companies, these brands, these countries have so much money, and they all spread it around so much. And this is the thing that Saudi Arabia was doing. A lot of people forget, but what initially pushed them into the gaming sector was that they had so much money in oil, and the person in charge of Saudi Arabia, I believe it's the Crown Prince, he was like, the oil will dry up eventually, so before it does, we want to spread our money into other places so we can basically diversify our portfolio. And this is what started them pushing into video games, and push they did. The Esports World Cup is massive, and they're giving out a lot of money to a lot of games, which in turn is bringing a lot of tourism to their country, which is what the goal is. But also what I want to highlight as well is they announced the season 2025 for the Esports World Cup, and you can see here all of the different games that's here. A lot of these games are repeats, like Street Fighter, Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six Siege, Dota 2, PUBG, Overwatch. Fatal Fury is a new game here that was not, well, obviously wasn't there last year, wasn't announced. But then also when you get to the bottom of the list, notice there is no Tekken 8. Now there is 2 that says coming soon. Fingers crossed, hopefully Tekken 8 is a part of this, because these guys are giving out a lot of money. This money can change so many careers, so hopefully Tekken is there. But if not, that would mean Fatal Fury took our spot. A part of me wonders if this is a side effect of all of the backlash and criticism Tekken 8 has been receiving. Has this third party seen this and been like, okay, we'll go with this game instead? New game, new audience, fresh face, let's bring them on board. Or like I said, will these 2 coming soon be Tekken 8? Only time will tell. Now, the Evo Vegas early bird registrations has opened. This will be taking place on August 1st to the 3rd. And you can see Street Fighter 6 is currently the biggest game there, followed by Tekken 8, once again Fatal Fury. Guilty Gear Strive has finally been knocked out of 3rd place, which is held on to for like many years at this point. It's now 4th day. Mortal Kombat 1 is now at the bottom. Well, it's been at the bottom for so long. And when I look at this, I wonder if the Mortal Kombat developers even care at this point. Yes, the FGC laughs in their face, but Mortal Kombat currently is the only one who has an ongoing movie franchise. You can see here new screenshots of the Scorpion. You have here a first look at Katana, the first look at Johnny Cage, and then also you have the first look at Shao Kahn. So we could talk all the trash we want, but Mortal Kombat still goes on to break records with MK11, but then MK1 is selling a lot of copies. But then also they're doing this collaboration right now between the movie and the game, where they're adding a lot of skins from the movies into the games. I've seen so many posts on Twitter celebrating this, and you know what was funny about this whole thing? People are super excited about all these Mortal Kombat skins, which they look pretty decent. I like this one. This one reminds me of that WWE fighter you see all over the timeline. But people were so excited about all of these different skins, and they were just posting them. It was getting thousands of likes, and I was sitting there looking like, these skins are getting more likes than the Mortal Kombat has players. And I'm like, bro, how are you guys? I haven't seen not 1 ounce of gameplay. I have not seen anything that makes me think Mortal Kombat is fun to play. It's just skins. Hopefully this could revitalize the Mortal Kombat franchise, I guess, and it could become a good game. I really think they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out their game before that can happen. But talking about figuring things out before it can happen, Tekken also needs a little bit of adjusting. The YouTuber Mike Hollow is once again on Twitter talking about how the Tekken team is ready radio silence when it comes to addressing cheaters. As you can see here, Mike tags multiple different news articles that is talking about this situation of cheaters, and Bandai Namco themselves have not said anything. They've been silent. Now, this is something that I've expected them to do, because if you think about it, it makes sense for them not to respond. If they respond to the cheater situation without having a solution for the cheater situation, it basically will open the floodgates for cheating. Kind of like what Mike did in his video where he talked about how people are doing a new method of plugging, and there's currently no way to stop it. So now Bandai Namco, in theory, their hand is going to be forced to react and fix that thing ASAP to prevent it from happening. Now, here's why I think it will take a lot of time for this to happen. And I believe Dale, which is also a game developer, not for Tekken, but just other games as well, is in the comment section kind of highlighting this. He says, yes, 1000% that the developers have seen this situation unfolding. Maybe the news articles, maybe the videos, maybe the tweets, but they are aware. But the reason why it will not be fixed immediately is because, first off, they have to see it on Twitter, which pretty much check, they done. But then that discussion goes up the chain of command all the way to the top, right? Which probably it did, because Harad and Michael Murray, they're on Twitter all the time. They may have been even the ones who've seen it, right? But then from that point, you then have to think about how are we going to incorporate the cheating solution into what we're currently doing. They're doing a lot of stuff for season 2, characters, stages. I'm wondering if they'll do a new story. A lot of people are talking about that. A lot of people are talking about game modes. There's a lot of things that they're planning to do with season 2, balancing the whole game. And now you have to try to figure out where the cheating situation can be added to that equation and then fixed. So that whole entire process will take months, maybe even a year. And during that time, the cheater situation will continue to get very crazy, very chaotic. But also, with that being said, I think it's important for the developers to act now. They should have taken care of this situation when Tekken 7 released, because this was a problem that Tekken Tag Tournament 2 faced. They also should have took care of this situation when Tekken 8 released. Tekken 7 was plagued by cheaters at the end of its lifespan. How do you create a brand new game and not look at that massive problem that was unfolding? Eventually, sooner rather than later, they have to stop this cheating situation. The conversation will not stop. The conversation will continue. Players will continue to be upset, frustrated, and just aggravated, and they should act now sooner than later, because the more they wait, the bigger the problem is going to get and the more upset players are going to become. What's happening currently in Tekken is where people are kind of dealing with this type of paranoia where they are accusing other players of cheating. You see clips on Twitter where someone is like, look at this cheater. The guy's not really cheating. He's just playing really good defense. But this is how paranoid we all are of the cheating fiasco. These are just things that I want to talk about because I thought it was all super interesting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video. See you in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.